Hi, everybody. This is Joel Simmons for another EarthWorks Turf Talk. I want to spend some time talking about the EarthWorks Foliars Plus line and explain why we call it that, and a little bit of history for it, and a little bit about what this product line does. Back in the late 1980s, when we started working with product development, we started building a couple liquid products. And my business partner, Jerry Bernetti, was doing the formulation at that time. And he built very mineral dense and carbon dense products. And still to this day, the Earthworks liquid fertilizers are very carbon and very mineral dense. Back in the late 1980s, there wasn't a whole lot of liquid fertilizers really out there. Mostly it was commodities, straight urea, some NPK products, mostly salt fertilizers. It wasn't until the 1990s that some good companies were coming out with chelated products and working really well for the golf course and sports turf industry. And the marketing term foliar came into existence. And I've always been saying that foliar feeding on turf, a blade of grass that's only an eighth of an inch tall, is more marketing than it is science. Much of that liquid is going to roll across that leaf and then down into the soil. And if it's a straight salt fertilizer, that could actually burn out some carbon and take away some of the biological support mechanisms, which is the humus in the soil. So what we did was we built a product line that is both foliar and very soil dense. And so that's why we call it Foliars Plus. The plus is the fact that once it goes past that leaf, it has tremendous activity in the soil. So it brings not only the minerals that we want to get into the plants, but it brings the food that brings the microbes that drive that mineral into the plant. So we have created this Foliars Plus line and now broken it into two, a Foliars version, one that we would suggest spraying onto the leaf surface. And that's a product line that includes Trilogy, a P and K product, Protein Plus, our nitrogen product, and then Calvantage. And this is the Foliars Plus line. Let's break each one of these out a little bit. Protein Plus is a nitrogen product. We call it Protein Plus because what we're trying to do is create all the cofactors within the plant that allow the plant to build proteins. And particularly to really build chlorophyll. It has been an incredibly successful product for us. In fact, many of our distributor partners say that their customers are using so little of it and getting such a long stretch out of it, as low a rate as a couple ounces per thousand, even though we recommend up to 5 ounces, sometimes even more, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. It's a wonderful way to build that plant and get some nitrogen in there, and of course, a lot of color, and color that's going to stay for a long time. Let's look at Trilogy. Trilogy was a combination of a bunch of products. Why we call it Trilogy was originally it was a combination of three other products, but this is a product that has phosphoric acids and potassium sulfate and a couple other potassium raw materials and an awful lot of carbon sources. As is true on most of the foliar line, we have about 30 some raw materials in this. A lot of sugars, fermentation products, kelp fish meal, and of course our signature humic acids that are produced by our chemist Lawrence Mayhew. So here's a product that provides phosphorus and potassium and a lot of food substances to the soil and can really help round out a fertility program. And last but not least is our Calvantage product. We knew that most soils need available calcium. Calvantage again has about 30 raw materials, but it also has three or four sources of calcium in it so that we can maximize the potential uptake of calcium. And again, some of this will be taken into the leaf, but most of it's going to go into the soil. And with all of this material that is in this complex formula of these Foliar Plus products, that calcium is going to have great availability. And we've seen that on paste extracts, and we've seen that in some testing that we've done. So if you want a really good liquid product line, what we will call a foliar line, even if a lot of it goes past the leaf and down into the soil, and you really want to work both sides of that foliar programming and get it into the leaf and then get a lot of it in through the soil. The Foliars Plus line, Trilogy, CalVantage, and of course Protein Plus is a great product line for any turf environment.